Alright, welcome on in team. I've got a lovely fresh canvas that's been gessoed with marble dust. So it's pretty funky, ready for action, and I've got this wonderful flower here, which I've been given by a fantastic subscriber who's going to let us paint it right here, right now. Now I hope that wind's not too aggressive. It can be a little bit loud, but we're going to battle through it and create this flower. It's from Hawaii, and first colours first. I've got blue, green and red already set up, so I'm wondering what colour should it be to really hit the mark to start with. Flowers up here for reference image, and today with the marble dust and this Fonse new brush. These are handmade, my uncle made this. I'm in love with it. Egg tempera. So the fun behind this is it doesn't dry via off-gas or any dangerous chemicals. It's literally a completely natural mix that creates the artwork. As old as time itself. The Last Supper was painted with egg tempera. So this style goes back a wee while. Right, first colour. It's going to be blue. And don't be surprised if while we're painting, if we run out of egg tempera mix, if we do need to come on back and actually get a bit more egg tempera mix, which is not an impossible situation. We'll just take a 5-minute break and then continue. I'll run off, break some eggs, come on back, and we'll keep going. It's too easy. There we go. There we go. Now, one thing about when you're starting a painting, don't get hung up on nailing the lines. You don't need to even worry about it. All you need to think about when you're starting, see a shape, add a shape. See a dark moment, add a dark moment. If you start thinking about it too much before the work's even had a chance to come to life, you're going to limit what that painting can become. You see, if you're truly making a piece of art that doesn't have a plan, just an energy you're putting behind it, you can't possibly know where it's going to end up. And without knowing where it's ending up, how can you possibly judge the first steps? For those first steps, unbeknownst to you, could be the perfect step to make that picture come to life. You don't know. So, I think we can have some fun here with this one. Now, obviously the blacks in this are darker than the blue I'm currently using, but that makes the blue more fun. We can spread it out, move it around more. Just got a prickle in my foot. Let's lift that one up. I'm going to put the flower right at the top, and that way I can actually work better there. Let's grab some of that. Here we go. Those trees in the background, beautiful big trees. We're going to go over the lines like I said. There's no need to stay in the lines. What's most important though is coverage. Getting that initial layer of egg tempera onto the surface so the colours that come after it have more to play with, have more to work with. Here we go. Beautiful. Man, this brush is fun to work with. It's longer than a regular brush. So if I bring this right up and you see it, it's actually as long as my forearm, which is much longer than what you'd normally expect from a painting brush. And I'm only using egg tempera with it because you can wash that off with regular cold water. If I use acrylic or oils, I'd just risk damaging this beautiful handle that we're working with. So I'm very lucky. My birthday, I turned 32, was yesterday, and my uncle actually handmade these. So this is beautiful very hand carved into the shape it's in with a brush pull on the end. So we have to look after these. We don't want to waste these. These are very special, sentimental brushes. All right, there we go. A little bit more of that. Then where else are we going to go? As long as we go over the lines, that's the most important thing. I need more coverage than anything else. There we go. Beautiful. Big, sloppy strokes. Like get that coverage really cascading over the surface of this pit. There we go. I love the way when it thins out, it actually completely turns that beautiful light blue, and then when it goes on thicker, it definitely gets that darker element to it. So you can kind of play around just with a singular colour. And it's the first time I've touched the side of the flower there. It's that blue coming in there. The flower itself is this wonderful, vibrant red tone with like this beautiful, beautiful orange in it. It's not specifically orange, but it's definitely tickling underneath there to make the colour in it what it is. There we go. Completely unrelated to this piece as well, but I was watching videos on Instagram, doom scrolling away this morning, while my baby was beside me in bed, and I came across Sonic the Hedgehog, the evil scene with Jim Carrey and the other guy, and I was like, this is hilarious. The choreography in that and the lighting and everything, it's very funny. It's very funny. I enjoyed it far more than I thought I was going to the point where, maybe not tonight, but I do plan to watch Sonic the Hedgehog, because I thought that is actually, that's ticking a few boxes as far as a movie goes. That's a, that's a good one. Right. The time has come to push that button. There we go. Lift that up there a little bit. Sneak underneath. It's funny actually, if you started actually delving deep into my work and actually really investigating elements behind it, one thing you would notice is always the little patch up here doesn't get touched as much, only because the easel sits on that, and also the image usually goes up there, so it can be quite a harder spot to actually reach, but not that that matters. We just give it its own little bit of special attention after the fact, and it always lets me catch up. Right, now center of the flower, here we go, in here just like this, confident strokes, confidence, beautiful, just like that, out to the side and cascading down there. They don't need to be right at the start, they just need to be confident. One thing I love to refer to, and I was saying it earlier on a TikTok video, we were doing a portrait of a face, and I said, it's not actually, what am I saying? It's very similar to dancing, in that obviously there are exact dance moves you can do, but the most important part of dancing looking good is the confidence you put behind it. And the same goes with painting. If the strokes look like this, and you just scratch away in small little pockets, the picture's not going to have that same energy, that same vitality inside of it. It's going to lack that confidence, and because of that, you won't be able to transpose as much expression, as much energy, as much vitality onto the surface. So just like a dancer, when you have to dance like nobody's watching, you kind of have to approach your painting in a similar way. Confidently cast strokes on it like nobody's watching. There's too much to risk if you don't. If you don't do that, the painting might not represent you as well. You might not transpose the feeling you actually started out to get. You might miss out on that contagious vibe, let's say. Right, now we had a good system this morning, team. I put blue on just like this, and then I put in purple. Now, I'm not a creature of habit, but today we're going to do that again. I'm going to add the purple into this colour, and it's going to make this luxurious deep colour. Here we go. Spectrum Violet, this is exactly the colour I'm after. Drop it right in there at the blue. Not a whole lot, one little tipple is all you need. And these are tiny little tubes. See that? Miniature. The reason we're working with the smaller tubes, if you imagine pigment particles that put the colour in the work, on regular paint, they're about this big. For this paint we're using, they're bigger particles. Bigger particles has more of a matte effect on the painting. They gobble up more light, they reflect less, they have this amazing kind of opaque outcome. In this case, these larger pigment particles we're using for the egg tempera painting are coming from a paint called gouache. Gouache. And they don't have to come from gouache. I just like gouache. It's small, it's compact, it's strong, it's saturated colour. A lot of people don't like its inability to be layered, but I find with a little bit of egg tempera mixed into the paint, you can get all the same impacts from gouache with the removal of all the plastics and just stuff that actually might be holding back your artwork. I typically find plastics, when I say plastics, like acrylics, and they come off slightly tacky. Is that just me? They're tacky. Not in style, but the paint, unless you mix it right with the right stuff, raw acrylics just don't have that same colour pop that you can get from opaque gouaches and potent glossy oils. So if you're clever, if you mix the right things in, we've got a few little tricks. You can actually completely circumvent that, but a lot of the time people don't. And if you don't, that's why acrylic paintings don't have that same pop. So you can absolutely do all the fun things you want to do with acrylics, but in all honesty, your gouaches are pretty cool. I mean, look at this. Let me bring this up here. Look at the potency of colour on this brush. Look at that. That's blue, baby. That is blue. And when it dries, it's going to harness that colour and keep it in there. You think, oh, it's addictive. Once you get that high level of pigmentation and you've played with it, there's no going back. You can't go back to economy style paints, you know, student acrylics that don't have that pop to them. You can't go back to paints that have lower amounts of colour in them. You just want that absolute, once you've felt it on the surface. I mean, look at it right now. This is layer one. That is inarguably saturated, popping, intense blue. And that's everything we want. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Look at that. Right, we're not done yet though. We're still making a mess, and it's layer one. So we have to, guys. If we don't make a mess in layer one and give the work a bit of freedom when we start, it'll never get it. Never, ever, ever. Sometimes you can build back to it, but it's just a better result if you start with that high energy when you begin, because no matter what, you can always build back in a bit of detail. If you start with detail, you might not get expression, but if you start with expression, you can always get back detail. At least that's how I feel about it. Some people might feel the opposite, and that's why no matter what an artist tells you, grain of salt, always, 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 always a grain of salt. Now, let's get a little bit, just some touches on this flower. I don't want to go overboard. Don't want to go overboard, just like that. There we go, just creeping around there, sneaking up there, coming out the side here. Big, confident strokes. The moment these strokes aren't confident, we'll take something away from this work that it might not be able to get back. That's why that flow state's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Some people come that works and they do one giant, potent, confident stroke. And sometimes it works. You don't need to do just one stroke, and you don't need to do millions. But about 500 to 3,000 really confident casts, and you can get something pretty special on the surface. Now, I didn't talk about this earlier, but I brought it out with me. This is my little wet rag. And the reason we have this is to be able to wipe the brush off. Here we go, just like this. There's all our blue paint, and that needs to go off the brush, because if we're going to move on to reds, greens, whites, and we have a bunch of that on the brush, it's going to keep permeating into every subsequent colour. So, here we go. Gorgeous. There's a mostly clean brush, and now we can continue. I'm going to tuck this into here. And we're coming up at the moment on New Zealand we're in the middle of New Zealand summertime, so if you listen to the background around me, you might hear a few crickets. Crickets? Cicadas. They make that kind of buzzing noise. Here we go. I'm going to dive onto the colour green now, team, and the reason I'm going for green over all the colours we could be using is with a little bit of blue left on the brush, that green's going to gobble it up and actually use it to make its colour more deep. And if we did move into a white, we'd get a sky blue immediately. And while that'd be pretty, I do want some yummy green in this beautiful nature. You can see here how we haven't even touched that flower yet. We're just enjoying the depth in the background. If there was green in the flower, I bet your boots would play with it, maybe a bit in the center here. There we go. But there's actually not a whole lot. There's a whole lot in that background. And every time we hit it with a new color and it layers up, that intensity of the flower is just growing, growing, growing. And that's everything you want. You want to get that through here like this. And I think the best way to put it is in these early moments, play with it like a child. I see so many people when they start a canvas, they just judge everything so intensely and they instill this negativity into the work and it never really recovers from it. What you really want to do with the painting is just enjoy it and play with it like you're a child. This naughty playfulness that goes into the underlying layers carries through into the final product, and even if the final product is refined and perfect, it'll still have this underlying cheeky playfulness. And the greatest art isn't strangled into a chokehold to be an exact product of expectation. The greatest art in my mind has always been works that have this beautiful message coming through with this underlying playfulness. You look close at the any of Van Gogh's work, Picasso's work, Monet's work, the underlying playfulness is so obviously there, and without it, Monet wouldn't be worth looking at. Monet did paint facts, these impressions, these wonderful landscapes, but inside those wonderful landscapes, he did just play. You can see the brush skittering around the surface, spotting little moments and playing with them. If it doesn't do that, why? Why even make it? There we go. Gorgeous. Right. I'm going to get a little bit of red now. There we go. Da 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 da. Perfect. So if you're coming in here late, guys, this is egg tempera paint. It's a beautiful, beautiful paint, but it's very delicate. Here we go. Here's the first elements of the flower. There we go. That's going to come right the way out the side there. You really just get that in there. Beautiful. Sneaking down through there. Whole way down. Gorgeous. Up through here. There we go. Big, potent, powerful strokes making this flower come to life. Then get a little bit of white. Just a little bit. Going to lighten up this colour we're working with here just a teeny weeny bit. See that there we go. And that's going to dabble around the edges of this flower. You see how I'm letting that brush flow much more now that we're in the elements of the flower. I'm not letting it dry brush onto the surface. We may, but actually I want that flow. There we go. For a flower to truly have that feel to it, you need to be quite loose with your wrist. I never much like flowers that have too much control in them. Van Gogh's ones are a great example of just being quite loose and free with the way you paint them. Always liked his ones. Here we go. Dabble that down to the edges there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Do-do-do. Daddy-do. Let's get that. A little bit of that. Whoop. This one here instead. We are running low on paint at an exceptionally fast rate, so I may run inside and grab some more. If I do, you'll just have to entertain yourselves out here all by yourself. You reckon that's a possibility, or am I dreaming? Here we go. There we are, all up through here. So this will encroach down to here. There's that potency of the blue coming through the trees. Just like that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Sneak over here, we do the same thing. So that background's getting fully covered now. Once it's fully covered, we'll have a license for freedom to go wherever we want with the colours, to really allow them to explode on the surface anywhere we like. There we go. At this stage, as long as the basic lining of the picture's there, we can go anywhere we want. Anywhere we want and just explore and play. There we go. Gorgeous. Bring that into there. Bit more of that. I'm liking how this colour is actually slightly lighter. It's been a massive impact on making the pop go off here. There we go. Through here. Nice. And through here. Nice. A bit more of that. Keep dealing it up through here. Beautiful. Not finished there though. A bit more of this. That flower comes all the way up there, so we dip it there, down through here, and into there. A potent pigment. Leading way for me to really play with that colour. There we are, all the way up through there, down through there. Who can see a flower yet? Early days. I'm having fun. You having fun? You might start to see the idea of some sort of floral structures coming out. And then some big gaps where we haven't touched at all because it just hasn't felt right yet. It's totally okay. It's totally okay. Right, let's get this brush cleaned off here. Gorgeous. Nice. Right. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to start moving in to a bit of yellow inside both the red and the green. So you can add some in there. That's my red pot. And down in here, that's my green pot. So it's going to be the same colours that have already been added with a slight yellow hue mixed into them. Here we go. That's going to make that red. Oh yeah. It's like a muted Venetian. There we go. I'm going to dabble with that down through here. Keeping it wet and keeping that brush light in our fingers. That's what we're up to here. There we go. Famous last words, but we might be fortunate enough to have enough paint for this. I'm probably lying though. I always say things like that and then it turns out we run short, so I won't. We won't quote on the paint at all, we'll just let it flow. There we go. That's going to sneak out through there. That's going to sneak out through there. Over the top. Beautiful. A bit more. Yeah, now we're talking to it. Just big licks of colour. I boldly want to put a bunch in here as well. This is naughty of me. I want that coverage, team. I want that coverage in the spot. Here we go. Alrighty, tighty. There's one thing we need to do with this fun little piece. Now, unlike the piece we were playing with earlier today, this one here is had it loaded on much more thick. So now we have full coverage there. We need to let that have a little bit of a drying phase. Put it over there gently. Let's bring up this morning's piece and keep taking this somewhere new. Okay, so this is a bit of a change, guys. If you were here just watching the flower, this is probably quite shocking. We've moved into a face. Now the face that you see, it's not a complete face. It's far more of a zoomed up version of a face. And so our job here is to just keep finding little pockets and adding little sparks into it and seeing if we can't get a bit more of that face to emerge from the woodwork for us. Now I might swap this brush actually. It's been a good one. It's looked after me well. Put it there. Now we used, yeah, let's go for this one. Ooh. There's two to choose from here. We've got our wonderful, funky, completely, it's got the wood grain in it, but it's the same color the whole way through, or we have an interchangeable one. See how that's changing color as it spins. So, sort of a bit of both wood in there. I think I use this one in the morning, so let's try this one here for the afternoon. Simple, but that wood grain actually carries it as a brush. Now, we're using the reds here. We're just going to keep pocketing these in little spots. There we go. We might even get back and actually dabble with a bit of white and just keep adding those blacks, adding those whites, playing around with the blues, the other primaries, and just wrestling around where this work might land. We can see the face in it right now, but up close, I just need a bit more. I need a bit more wilderness in colour. Make it a bit harder to remember where all the strokes were after you've looked at it. So you know the subject matter, but to actually pick what it looks like up close will always just keep on eluding the viewer. That's the goal here with this one. There we go. Beautiful. beautiful. Down here, gorgeous, gotcha. Just through here like that. That's what I'm after. One stroke after the next. Bring this down in here. Bring this across. I really do want a deep dark black, but we're gonna have to make do with indigo and Prussian blue today. I don't have those blacks with me, but Prussian blue, this one might just be the darkness I've been looking for. We'll see. The darkness. Because I am looking for a bit of darkness here. This one needs it. There we go. A little bit more egg tempera. Get that Prussian blue down in there. Mix it in. Yeah, it's looking pretty dark. It's looking pretty dark, team. That's going to be fun. This is the... Ooh. Is it too dark? Let's find out. Yeah, it's a new colour though. It's a new pigment tone. We'll play with that. There we go. Gorgeous. Down through here. Keep layering up the colours. This is the perfect size brush to do a bit of layering with. It's a special one. Using a handmade brush as well does feel incredibly special. And doing egg tempera style here. Natural feel with a handmade brush, and all just sort of comes together. And you can see how, like I was saying earlier, but these brushes are long, guys. There is it against my arm. This is huge. It's a huge brush. And it does behave differently in your hands because of the way the weight sits, but I'm here for it. I like it. Excuse me while I just dabble around this eye here a little bit. There we are. Gorgeous. Lovely, lovely. Let's get more of this in here. There we go. Love it. That's sneak in here with a few strokes. Carry them out to the edge. Scoop up here. Drop that down there. Then up in here. There we go. Just like that. You can't capture enough of these wrinkles, guys. The beauty in a face with wrinkles, is every last one of those little moments of expression that makes the person who they are. The evidence of smiles, of stress, the battles they've faced, the battles they've won, and the battles they're still fighting. It's all in that face. It's captured in the way their face is shaped. The wrinkles that make up their face, it's all there. And we get the absolute pleasure and privilege of painting it one after the next. Love that. There we go. Beautiful. Where are we going to go next? Just down here. Creep that up there. Encroach. Up. That cheek's very defined in that corner. So we keep making it defined. Love that, love that, love that. Okay. So if you're just joining us, welcome on in. Today we're painting with what's called egg tempera. So egg tempera is unique because it dries via coagulation rather than off-gassing. So a lot of mediums, they'll off-gas, which means dangerous fumes are usually coming into the air and you're breathing them in while the paint dries, while you're using it. But with egg tempera, it's very different because it's actually the proteins and the fats that what happens is when they're spread thinly over a surface with the pigment particles in between, it hardens into a clear thin film over the surface. The egg doesn't play with the actual pigment color. This is the color of the egg, and once it's mixed in with the pigment, it makes a perfect, really powerful saturated color. And there is this luminosity effect to it. It's kind of, it's not glossy, satin or matte, it's completely different. It kind of shimmers in this really interesting way. So those who use egg tempera get very addicted to it as a form of medium, but it can be quite fragile. It's not as immune to high temperature conditions, and it's not as immune to moisture, but you can combine it with a few things, or put a varnish on at the end to protect it, or glass in front of it works too. Now, in this picture's case, we're not doing pure egg tempera, which is when you use powdered pigment into the egg yolk mixture. In this case, and the egg yolk mixture is half water, half egg yolk, so it's a very simple mix. There is different kinds that people run. I don't do anything different. I like to keep it very, very simple. Half water, make sure it's pure water, distilled. This is fresh from a spring about half a mile of where I'm standing, the water that I'm using. And to get the pigment, you'll notice I'm not using powdered pigments. Now that's actually by design. So the reason there's no powdered pigments here is instead I'm using gouache paint. Now the gouache paint has the same pigment in it, be it bigger particles of pigment, but the best thing about the gouache paint is it comes in paste form. So I'm using that, mixed in with the egg yolk to make this paint. The only additive that becomes a case with this kind of style is the guar gum or gum arabic inside the paint. Now that's having an impact, and it's allowing the paint to flow really nicely, set a little bit better, and it's a natural ingredient in the whole mix of things. So all things considered, it's a welcome addition to what we're doing here. We like to have it. Here we go. Imagine all the people living for today. I've got some green here, guys. I plan to put this on the flower, but let's see where this takes us on this one. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Some sweet day you'll find us. The world will be here as one. There we go. We don't want to overdo the green, but we will have some fun with it. There we go. Beautiful. Where else are we going to go? Just up in here. Kind of a natural colour too. It's a kind of Gaia, Mother Nature feel to the piece, and I'm here for that. I think that's kind of fun. There we go. You don't want to overdo it, but green is a fun colour. So doing some fun things here. There we go. There we go, beautiful. Slashing through there. Slashing down here. Beautiful. Lovely. I need more cups. Right. Look what I found. More cups. You proud of me? It's enough green. Cover that up with a cup. Put the other ones down here. We'll definitely be using them. And going from green, going to use a bit more. This is a, it's called linden green. But it's much more of like a, kind of like a lemongrass green. It's green. Oh, let's call it the most green a yellow can be, and still calling it a yellow, which sounds weird because I just said it was a green. But I don't know. If you imagine exactly halfway between a bright yellow and a bright green, that's where this colour's landing. Linden green. Here we go. It'll make sense though. You'll be like, ah, yes. See where he's going with that. There we go. Let's get a bit in here. There we are. Gorgeous colour. Powerful. This is the first time yellow's touching it, guys, so this is quite an exciting moment. This will actually round off the colours in the piece. At the moment we've been playing on one side of the colour wheel, and now it's going to manipulate itself into being more of a primary colour work, expanding through that colour wheel, having extra elements in it. That's going to make it a bit more special than being just a chaotic two-colour work. I say two colour work, but basically the side of the colour wheel that's yellow and blue, that gives you all the, sorry, not yellow and blue, red and blue. That gives you the purpley tones, that gives you the blue hues, and there's a bit of those apricots creeping in there, but I'm going to donate those to the red side more than the yellow side. So now that we're coming at it with yellow, this is kind of a fresh, look at the impact that's having. It's very, very powerful on that surface. Potent. There we go. There we go, right on that nose there. Beautiful. Can you see those colours, or they're a bit subtle for you? There we go. Gorgeous. Oh, accidentally dipped my paintbrush in the red. It's okay. More yellow, more yellow. How does that look from the distance perspective? Yeah. You see how much expression that yellow's just added in? Such an impact for such a soft colour. But without it, those colours were really harsh. That relationship between the white background and the blues and the reds and the purples that were put on there, it was quite stark. But now there's this feeling of continuity, blending, and that comes from yellow. I never liked yellow as a front runner, but as a support character, it really has an impact on paintings that can't be overstated. It's, paintings can feel quite naked when they lack that yellow touch, but if you lead with yellow, yellow's like a belt. Yeah, yellow's like a belt. You don't wear a belt without the pants. The pants being the blue and the red, yellow's the belt. So yeah, once you've got blue and red, it's great to have a belt. Put a belt on, but no one runs around naked with a belt on. Maybe a YMCA stripper wearing a tool belt, possibly, but apart from that, yellow's the belt of painting. Is that a good explanation? I think it says a lot about me that was the first explanation example I could come to. I was singing YMCA this morning actually, that was quite funny. Yeah. I was singing Pink Pony Club originally, and someone said, God, the songs these days, and I said, come on. It wasn't too long ago that we were singing YMCA. Pink Pony Club is just the 2025 version of YMCA, and I'm here for it. I love it. They're about completely different things, but kind of like the YMCA, your hands are in the air. Pink Pony Club, your hands are in the air. On one you're going down to the YMCA, on the other one you're going to the Pink Pony Club. I'll go. They both sound like fun. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I know they said the YMCA was fun. I think there's more fun being had at the Pink Pony Club. I don't know, it just struck me like a vibe. Like, where are you going, Jake? I'm going to the Pink Pony Club. Oh, count me in. At the Pink Pony Club, I'm gonna keep on dancing. I mean, what a tune, right? What an absolute tune. Alright, where are we going next? Keep it coming, baby. A bit more of this colour around there. The yellow has had a massive impact. Do we keep going? I think we settle down. There's a desire always when you start adding yellow that you start thinking, wow, that's having an impact. Play more to that, keep going. But actually, there's a point with yellow where you just need to back off and stop and think, that's enough. I'll pause there. And I've had some works that have been absolutely ruined by sending the boat, the yellow boat, out way too far. One of the works was actually really popular. A lot of people wanted to buy it. They're like, hey, is that one available? Is that one available? It was a landscape. It was the one of Skyrim with the massive mountains. And I was in that, the reel saying, un desastre with it. Anyway, lo and behold, I added too much yellow to it. And since then, it's been beyond saving. So that's a heartbreaking story about going too far with the work. And when people said, is that one available? I couldn't even say it's sold. I just came clean and said, guys, I destroyed that painting accidentally. I took it too far and lost all the best parts of it. I squeezed it too tightly and I lost it. It's so sad. It was sad. I'm trying to play it off like I'm humorously not caring. I was gutted. When I see pictures of it, it's kind of like the one that got away. I get jealous. Be like, it wasn't such a good painting anyway. I didn't even like it that much. And no one's fooled. That kind of situation. And then when no one's looking, I'm like, watching the reel, being like, I miss you. I miss that painting. Moral of the story, be careful with yellow. Yellow will get you. Yellow will get you. It's, blue's always quite forgiving. If you overdo the blues, you can always come on back to reality. But with the yellows, when you overdo them, you're forever committed to actually losing a lot of fun inside the work. Let's play around with this white. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. Who's joining me at the Pink Pony Club? I reckon, I'm just guessing here, but I reckon the Pink Pony Club make a phenomenal cocktail. And I'm here for that. Sometimes I like beers, but sometimes a nice, strong pink flamingo, Moscow mule, margarita, espresso martini is exactly what you need to spin your wheels. I don't know when the moment is, but you know when it's struck. It's when you look at that beverage menu, you look at the wines, you think, oh, it's a nice wine list, but you look at the beers, and you know, oh, it's nice beers, I usually like them, but... And then you see some weird cocktail, like the phosphorescent jelly tip, and you're like, one of those, please. We'll take the funky cocktail, please. And then they do you one better, and it comes out in a funky glass, and you're just so happy about it. I hate it when you go to a place and you order a cocktail, and it comes out, and it's just a glass, and it's just liquid, and maybe the ingredients are fancy, but I ordered a cocktail because I wanted an over-the-top glass, an over-the-top garnish, a ridiculous name on it, and as long as it's drinkable, so I can actually finish it and then get a different cocktail and get excited about that one, I'll be a happy boy. That's all I need. While I'm at the Pink Pony Club, of course, where I'm going to keep on dancing. There we go. Right. Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. Bet your boots I'm gonna keep on dancing. There we go. Gorgeous. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. Why? Who brought that song up? That's stuck in my head now. That is unshakably stuck in my head. Trick question, it was me, but trying to shed blame here. There we go. Gorgeous. Sneaking down around here. Gorgeous, just like that. Around these edges. Lovely. A bit more here. Dabble through here. And then a little bit over the top. There we go. Just on that brow. Sneaking out through here. Coming out to the edge. The whole way across. And then we're going to keep going on. I'm going to stop it. No, Sebastian. No Pink Pony Club. Settle down. There we go. Beautiful. See how it's so stark, that white. You be careful in your effort to define, you don't lose the actual painting. It's kind of a fun little pull in, pull out kind of situation. You do the white, the whole picture actually re-alters and changes to be something new, and then you come in with more colours and you just keep surging backwards and forwards until you get what you're looking for, and I'm here for it. Here we go. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. Do 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 do. Bit of blue. Here we go. This blue's got a home in a few little spots. Do da ba 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 na ba na boom ba na do wow da down da down. At the Pink Pony Club, I'm gonna keep on dancing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, it's in there deep. It's in my semantic memory. But the good thing is, and I always say this, if you're singing while you're painting, it's a great sign, because a lot of the time what can happen is you don't. And if you don't sing while you're painting, or even want to sing, it's a good sign that you're not enjoying what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, the question you'll have to ask yourself is, what are you transposing onto the surface of the work? Are you transposing a good vibe, good energy, vitality, or are you transposing kind of negativity, kind of beat up feeling? Be very careful, because although your feeling is temporary, what you make with that feeling will last forever. So make the choice to transpose a good feeling, because then when you have the painting in your house for an indefinite period of time, or however long you keep it there, it's going to keep giving you that feeling that you chose to transpose. And if that was a feeling of numbness, sadness, regret, isolation, disappointment, then cool. Every time you walk past that artwork, it might give you a little bit more of that feeling. I can think of nothing worse. What you want the art to be is like 1/8 of a cup of coffee, where when you walk past it and you see it, it doesn't completely liven your day, but it does give you a little bit of a zing. And if it gives you a little zing every day, just a little zing, think of the accumulated value over the course of, say, 10, 15, 20 years. Suddenly, the art starts talking about not just being a pretty picture on your wall, but bringing value to your life. And that's what you need to look for. What piece can I look at over and over again and find something new in, get a little kick out of, get my 1/8 of a cup of coffee, find that work and fill your home with it as much as you can. Because if you're like me and you're trying to cut back on coffees, maybe you're only having 1 or 2 a day. Where's the rest of your kick coming from? Bring it from your kids, from your partner, from seeing a bit of sun, for going for a swim, go to the gym, eat healthy food, and surround yourself with art, and you will not regret it. It's just another way to bring a bit of a kick of joy into your life. No regrets here. Here we go. But this may not be the piece for you, of course. Find art that puts that little kick in your step. I love these old faces with their wrinkles and the way the paint expresses it. I just absolutely love it. But you might like realism landscapes. You might like completely abstract single color works. I don't know what you're into, but you've got to find out. And don't be like, oh, I don't understand art, I don't have taste. It takes time to develop taste, but to develop it, you've got to start. Even if it's just at a farmer's market, buying a coloured rock, I don't care. Find something to make a start and start making art that's meaningful. Start getting art in your life, or making it, that's meaningful for you, because otherwise you're missing out on a kick of happiness that other people are getting that you aren't. Go get it. Don't miss your morning coffee. Don't miss your morning dance, your morning workout, and a little bit of art before you leave the house. Mwah! What a day that would be. Right, I'm going to stop yarning so much now and concentrate on landing some paint. You've got to be careful. Sometimes I get into lecture mode, and when I get into lecture mode, well, it's just that. There we go. As soon as I stop talking, to be completely honest with you, the moment I stopped talking, Pink Pony Club started running in my head again. This is a problem. This is a big old problem. I'm going to go listen to that song the moment I come off this live. I hope you all know that. And you've got the wonderful, wonderful ability right now. You've got the wonderful, wonderful ability right now to just listen to the Pink Pony Club while I'm painting. I won't sing it because it'll be wildly out of tune in time, but maybe I'll get a giant canvas out and paint a big old pink pony. The Pink Pony Club. That'll be fun. Here we go. I said I wasn't. I can do this. Be strong, Sid. Be strong. You don't need to sing the Pink Pony every chance you get. You can just relax. You don't have to be that guy. Bit more blue. Here we go. Alright. Up here. Ooh, that was an aggressive lump. I like it. No, satisfactory. It can stay, actually. I've had to think about it, and I'm happy about what's happening there. There was a moment of regret, and then satisfaction. Right. Where else are we going to go on this work? What's going to happen next? This bit here needs to get a bit more expanded out, just like that. Coming down here like that. Sneaking over here like that. Not singing that song, I'm painting. There we go. Perfect. It's going to sneak up through there just little bits. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. We're going to sneak in next. There we go. A bit more through there. Alright team, that brings us to a close for today. Whew, look at the paint on that brush, that is overloaded. Anyway, we're going to let the flowers dry. We've had some fun here, we've thrown some colours onto it, and I'm wishing you all the best wherever you are in this big old world. If it's daytime, enjoy your day. If it's nighttime, hope you have a good night. Don't spend too long looking at your screen. It's deep, deep into the night, and if you do, please, 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 please. Apparently it's bad for your circadian rhythm. I don't know the science, but turn off the blue light on the screen. You can still doom scroll, but it'll just be a little bit more reddy yellow. It's better for you, apparently. Okay. Love from New Zealand. Look after yourselves, guys, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye, team. Now comes the awkward bit where I have to touch all the buttons. See you guys.